I'm sitting here trying to process and reprocess and whatever all it takes. This dream that I had, I woke up from. I took a nice peaceful nap. The naps be peaceful, but wake up out of the dream and it be on something else. I'm like, what is really going on? And the dream, I didn't wake up feeling shaken and scared and this, that, and the third, but in the dream, some definitely intense things happened, and you would think that, hey, I would or should be scared or whatever. Um, most of it didn't feel like it was something that's real that's happening, but I know again spiritually it's happened or happened. I'm a hope that it's not happening. There was a word that just said peace was here and refused to participate in it. Um, and that's what's gonna help you to, you know, take on. I don't want to say take on, but have your peace. Refuse to participate in the drama, and you'll have peace. And that's something that I need to do because in this dream, I see myself like if I was feeding into or whatever, I guess. But something was going on where I was engaging in the madness that was going on in the dream. So I don't even know where to start because even though I just had the dream and I remember a lot of it, I don't remember which order it had happened in and stuff like that. So that's crazy too. But anyway, what I do remember is evidently something occurred that caused me to want to get on my camera at the side door and start yelling out and saying stuff to these so-called neighbors. And I was saying something. And it seemed like I had on these clothes from the day where me and my boy's dad was going back and forth and stuff like that. And so that was back in September of 2019. And so yeah, had on some clothes. And of course, during that process, because he was over at the residence across the street when it happened, and that's what I'm telling you, this is the day that God had me move, where I felt the need to move around to the front yard from the backyard. I was in the backyard and peace would have remained because I could have stayed in my backyard. Uh, I really feel like I shouldn't have surfaced or anything because that's his own stuff to battle with. I'm telling you, I was caused to. I literally was caused to. And it was not, I was feeling a type of way because I'm like, Lord, this is not something that I would choose to engage in seriously. Like, this does not matter to me. The person was beginning to not matter to me, but especially the stuff that they even stand for. Like, it doesn't matter to me. I just feel like connected because, he makes a contribution to this household, but I really don't want to give him that credit either. And I feel like I don't care if he used his blood, sweat, and tears to do it. It needs to get done because, he started something here and just did. He decided not to finish. And I did. I continued and tried to finish. And so I don't feel like it's fair to me to have to jump in and help him or anything. But anyway, nevertheless, um, like I said, something has been occurring. And anyway, so I had on the clothes from that day in the dream at first. And I said something out of my because I have a intercom on the camera, in real life. And of course this was in the dream as well. Turned on the camera and I said something out of the dream and out of the intercom to them when I either seen them get in the car or something like that or going in the house. And I was going in. I know I was saying some cussing words and some stuff. I don't remember though what was said, but I was going off. And of course, I feel like it's because they came at me first, and so I was just responding. And they had in this dream. It's so funny because they had a different car parked in the driveway. It was like a dark gray car. You know, you got your light gray and you got your dark gray. So light gray look almost silver. It was like a dark gray car, and um, it was like a one of them compact cars. It wasn't even like a. I just wish I could explain it. It almost looked like not a station wagon. It almost looks like a Beetle type car, but I don't know. Um, I don't even know if this car exists for real. But anyway, it was dark gray, and what else was going on in it? Um, and so I said something out of the camera, and then I don't know. I guess they said something back, and then it like got heated, and then I ended up just going over there, crossing over the fence, and just throwing all whatever caution was left to the wind. And I took a hammer out, and I took the back end of the hammer. I took the back end of the hammer and um, was getting ready to like smash the windows of the car, but I got over there and I didn't. So by the time, of course, I was over there on that side at that point in time. The so-called man of the house came out. I don't know if he had on. I don't think he even had on a shirt. But he came out and then he was like, almost again struggling to get a gun out of his waist. I knew it was coming or whatever. Struggling to get a gun out of his waist, and because they don't like and this is the thing in real life, they don't like when I stand up for myself, speak up for myself, and say something bad. But yeah, he was struggling to get a gun out of his waist, and he got it out pretty quickly. But it was like it almost looked like a pellet gun, BB gun, some type. But I don't know, it could have been a real gun. It was either way, it was still a dream gun, but that don't really seem to be mattering these days regarding my life. Like seriously. Um, and I was on that side of the fence, so he began to start shooting. I think he had on like a it was almost a gold pair of pants or whatever, like a light brown, light tan, and he was undoing his belt and he was taking the gun out. And he didn't have no shirt on, he had a hat on. And this is not, I mean, he wears hats and stuff like that, but I ain't never seen him walking around with no shirt on and stuff like that. Um, but he was standing like against his back, turned towards his silver fence in the backyard and looking at me. And it was almost like he was kind of waiting for me to do something like that or whatever. Come over there. And then I went over there and then I ended up coming. I was about to hit the car with the back end of the hammer. Then I was like, mm-mm. I came back over here on my side, and at that point, it seemed like he was either on my side of the fence or whatever, but he definitely aimed and was shooting at me, shooting at my legs and stuff like that, especially my legs. And then and then at this point, I didn't have on those same clothes or whatever again. It seemed like for a minute, because then I went back to having them clothes on, but I had on these black, like not silk, they silk-ish, but shorts with flowers on, and it was black shorts with flowers on, and I must have had no underwear and stuff on under him, and he was shooting, but he was like trying to look, and he was down, like, I think I was laying on my back, and I had my legs like up or whatever, open, and he was trying to shoot down there at my private parts and stuff, and definitely know he got off like 6 shots or whatever in my legs. And I was looking at my legs and it seemed like, that's what I'm saying, it looks like pellet, because it looked like pellet wounds. There was no blood, but it was like pellet, like 6 little spots that maybe the bullet penetrated, and then it closed up, my skin closed up over it, and I could tell that it was there. So I was distraught, and went on, and I got in the house some type of way, and I seen the TV on, and I think my TV was close to my front window, which is not right there right now. My TV was close to the front window, and and um and I started calling people, and then there's this girl. I'm gonna call her CB. She was in the dream, and like I know her from years ago or whatever, but I haven't interacted with her. And she did come over here and stuff like that. But anyway, she appeared here in the dream. And when I was distraught, and she was going out the side door doing something. By this time, after he shot, then he got in the car and they drove off. Him and his so-called wife or whatever. They got in that car and they drove off and went down the street. And it, like in my backyard now, I can see them. I can see them leaving from their house, and they can go around, and they turn the corner and stuff, and I can still see them. So when they did that, I went in the gazebo, and the gazebo was, it wasn't in the place where it is now. It was on the side of the house, but the side of the house had become my backyard or something like that. And it reminded me of, I don't remember, did we have a fence back there? But it reminded me of my house. It's a house that I grew up in when I was in like the first and second grade. And it was my late grandma's house. And yeah, it's where I first experienced some trauma that I can remember. Um, Stuff like that. So my backyard seemed to be that backyard. See, I have a lot of dreams where I have, I guess, a residence where my childhood was at. And I got in the gazebo, and then my curtains and my brown curtains and stuff was up like that. And I could see them leaving off and going down the road. And I just threw my hand up and waved like I got them, like I got the best of them or something like that. But they was leaving out over there. And that was that. Then after that, 2 dogs ran up. One dog was dark brown. It was pretty. It looked like a bear though. It was a dog, but it was like shaped like a bear, and it was not as big as a bear, but it was just shaped like a bear. All this fur and stuff like that. And I was scared to touch it first, but I think I got used to it. Then another dog, I can't remember what color, and then it may have been a third dog, but I don't know. And anyway, I got the dogs or whatever, and went to the house and went back in the house. I don't know if the dogs came in, but anyway, it was other people in the dream. I think in the dream too, I was on the phone with my daughter. I was trying to reach her. Then after that incident happened, I got on the phone, tried to call the cops, and they were saying, you got to give us all this information, this, that, and the third. And it, that's in the box or whatever, you know. So I was giving them my information, and then like the cop put me on hold, or the dispatcher put me on hold, or tried to transfer me, and I think it hung up or something like that. But anyway, um, did that, and basically didn't seem to get no help. But I was so distraught, and I was just so pissed off and upset. I was like, they done rode off in that car. I didn't say it, but I was thinking that even in the dream, in my mind, in the dream, like, something gonna have to happen to them before they come back into this neighborhood while they out in that car. And I think I was even hoping, like, something needs to happen to them, and maybe I'll get the call or the news that, something has happened to her husband from her, or whatever the case may be. I don't know. That's what I was thinking. And, and like I said, there was other people in the dream. I can't even remember who all was in the dream and who that came into my house during that time. Um, and then the phone that I used to call, it was a phone hanging on where my side door, it was hanging on the wall like it was a house phone. It wasn't a cell phone. But that was something that's different that stands out. There was things that just stood out, like the pants he was wearing looked like a younger person would wear them pants and wear the hat and no shirt. Um, and things like that. And then by this time, I was back into the clothes that I had on, like the scarf, the white shirt, and the little pants that I used to wear. Now they're tore up, they're ripped up because I wore them so much. I used to wear them bad boys everywhere. Of course, they was clean, but anyway, so that was that. And I think I was at times I was on the phone with my daughter and I was trying to communicate to her what happened or what was going on, or she was trying to communicate to me about just something, and that was that or whatever. But yeah, anyway, I went to sleep. It was daytime. I woke up. It was nighttime, and like I said, that was a nice little nap. And from where I'm sitting now, like I can literally see their house. I can see a window where they have their like add-on room or whatever built onto the house, and yeah, so that part or whatever that's that. Um, and I just woke up with the feel of like these so-called elders. Like I don't give a damn. You can feel like you're supposed to trust elders if you want to, but I don't. And it just to me don't make no sense that you could be here for that long and you have made it somehow, some way throughout all them years, and you don't want to operate with no sense. You still want to be retarded, or I guess whether it's just you want to go out with a bang, you feel like you're going to go out sooner than later. You want to go out with a bang, and you want to be a damn idiot, or whatever. I don't know what it is, but I just don't. And just because somebody is a so-called elder, I'm not trusting them, and that's just that. And I've seen too many, whether it be some in my own so-called bloodline or whatever, that is not to be trusted, and that's just period. I mean, it can appear that this old lady getting her ass whooped, this, that, and the third. That how many times have that so-called old lady taunted somebody or did things when she was a so-called younger lady or man to people, and it's just their time, and that's why even with that I try to have discernment on. I haven't seen any cases where I'm seeing old people getting beat up and this and the third, but I try to have discernment on whether I interfere with anybody's. If it appears that somebody's getting done wrong, I want to have discernment, because it might be their time to just have to endure that, and that's how I strongly feel about the matter. um that's even applied to myself. Like, some people might look onto my stuff and may want to help, or may and probably don't, but if they did, hey, it might just be due for me to deal with stuff like that. Some stuff I don't feel like it's fair, especially when it's happening and I'm going through it. I'm like, I don't feel like that's fair. I don't deserve that. But shit, you might just. Speaking of just, God is a just God, and it's been a whole bunch of stuff that could have happened, probably worse, because of sins committed. For those that believe, because everybody don't believe, and everybody don't think that, just because they sin or do something bad, that they gotta reap what they sow or do some good. But that's my thing. I'm like, Lord, I know I've done some wonderful things as well. So, but anyway, I'm just glad I didn't wake up like shaking and stuff like that from the dream, like even shaking on the inside. I just kind of woke up like, oh Lord, that's the norm. That's the norm. Normal that goes on in the hood. That's how I feel. Somebody pulling out a gun and damn shooting. And he wasn't, evidently trying to kill. He was just trying to aim at. And it was just like I said, my legs, and trying to get a peek, and even trying to shoot at my my vagina and stuff like that. Um, I don't know what to say, man. He weird, and yeah, if I can just grab onto that word of refuse to participate in drama, so I can keep my peace, that'll keep me. Just don't do it. Just leave the drama alone. It gets to the point where it's like, but Lord, and I don't mind setting my pride aside, but it's like, Lord, but what if they do the thing that I've been asking them not to do? And I guess even with them folks parking across the street and stuff like that, I ain't felt like I had to run out to every Tom, Dick, and Harry and say nothing. There's times when I did, but it's other times when I'm like, no, I ain't got to say nothing or whatever, but it's just one thing about it. I noticed that so-called us, they don't be having respect for one another, and I ain't like that. And I've seen that since I was young, and I don't like that stuff. It's like y'all want to talk so much about racism, and even a pastor I was listening to today, he said, "I think the racism that they talk about today is fake." He said, you ain't been experienced no real racism, like, the lynchings and stuff that people used to experience, which I get it. Some of those older people come from those times, so, they probably got some trauma with them. I do want a purpose to be more compassionate and just mindful that somebody could really have some PTSD from something that they went through and they made it through, but, it could still traumatize them. So I do ask God today to help me to take into consideration that they may have it, even if I don't know what it is. Don't know what they went through, or whatever. And I be feeling like I don't give a damn what they went through, because they shouldn't be out here cutting a damn food like that. But I do want to get to that place where it's like, let me just, you know, be compassionate as much as I possibly can where it comes to that. That don't mean I gotta jump in and be a part of their, I don't have to help them with anything or anything like that, but that just means that I want to be mindful that something could have happened to them, and it wasn't pleasant, and they don't know how to process it. They still may not know how to process it or whatever, and that's just that. but But I'm gonna tell you, these people get on my nerves, and so I can chalk it up and say, oh, it's mental illness, or it's something, not mental illness. It's just the fact that something happened in their childhood, their early years, that they can't get past, and maybe when I say something to them, they just triggers them. When I say something to them in response to them saying or doing something to me, it triggers them or whatever. And so, I do want to that part, because I myself have been through some stuff, and I'm like, you never know. I be feeling triggered or almost triggered or whatever, and I just, again, it's only the grace of God that helps me to be like, hey, I don't have to let that trigger me. I can just calm down and relax or whatever, and just try to cope and get over it, get past it. So that, but it's tough because they be taking it. It's like they be, if it did happen, it's like they be trying to take it up with me and make it personal with me, and like, oh, you don't know. Basically, they're not saying it, but they're probably feeling like you don't know what I've been through, and so target me, and I don't care for that, and I be feeling the type of way. I get offended because I'm like, don't fucking target me for whatever you've been through. That don't have shit to do with me. I didn't do it. I don't care if I look like somebody that because I know how that feels to somebody to look like the person or persons that you may despise that did something to you or something like that. But I'll be like, I'm still gonna be careful not to treat people like that just because they look like who did something to me. They're not them, gotta learn how to separate it. And so I do pray that too, that if they feeling like I'm somebody from their past or whatever, separate it. I felt like that with my boys' dad. I felt like he felt like I was similar to his mom, did something and when he said, he said women lie and something. Okay, well, baby, that give me my chance to be able to lie if that's the case, but that wasn't me. That was somebody else. So don't play with me. Don't play on my top. That don't have nothing to do with me. Take that shit up with them. That's how I feel. So, coming into a new day, new dawn, and all that good stuff, and just hoping that, okay, now we gon' I'm not gonna respond to this drama that y'all are trying to bring around me, and we gonna try to get it right. But I be feeling like it's only but so much I can damn do. Because I'm a person, I've been through stuff too now. My stuff might jump off and mess around, and really, don't bother with me. We all been through some, whether you young, old, or whatever. But anyway, but I'm no longer at the place where I want to pray for these people's healing or whatever. I just be like, oh well, you know. I feel like y'all should be thankful that you made it all these years. And you don't know how to do that. All these years you've been on this earth, you don't know how to be grateful and thankful that you done made it this far without bothering somebody and trying to bully and torment somebody. Oh no. I be feeling like something ain't right. Something gotta give. So, yeah. But, that's that or whatever. That was, oh, they be cheating here, man. That was the dream I had, and I was struggling with whether I wanted to write it down or say something about it. And like I said, I just had to process it because it was no longer in the sequential order that it happened in the dream life. When I got up, I'm gonna go make me this dip. I know people just been watching the Super Bowl, and that makes me feel good. Cause these people traditional days, they ain't out bothering nobody. They just watching a good old Super Bowl. But at the same time, I just been chilling. It's been peaceful. It was just that dream, trying to stir me up. Made that corner shit and stuff earlier. Of course, that just held us over for then. Now, wake up hungry again, even though I ate me some fruit and stuff like that. But yeah, oh Lord, and it just reminds me of the time when my boys' dad was like, "Oh, your neighbors still don't like you, or you don't like, or something like that. You don't like your neighbors," and I was like, "No, damn sure don't like them." And that was was it around that time? Well, it was before that time, but yeah, I don't like them until this day. I ain't like them no more. Like I tried to like them. I don't even like people in general, but I used to try to like them and get along with them, and it didn't feel forced or anything. It seemed like it was coming natural. But they cut the damn food, and they cut the damn food over these so-called little grandkids and stuff, and I'm like, no, it's not finna happen. I mean, okay, y'all can be family and have family loyalty without trying to target me and come at me. That's not what we gonna do. So that's how that was playing out or whatever, and I'm just like, and it just makes me feel like, why did he even ask about that? Why is he concerned? And it just make me feel, sometimes it make me feel like whoever's around me that can cause some problems with me, he can, or maybe the stuff that he dabbles in, he can either astral project and try to cause a stir up or something like that. That's why I be feeling like sometimes I have a dream maybe where he'll show up in it or something like that, or he'd be referenced, and I disregard him. So try to stir up some kind of trouble or whatever around me, of course, and direct it at me. And I just be like, now wait a damn minute. Now wait one damn cotton picking minute. And yes, I said I'm not trying to curse and stuff like that, but at this point, that stuff really upsets me. And it upsets me because it really does. We started in our own communities, how we so-called are towards each other, but then you turn around and you want other people to respect you. And it's like, we can't even so-called respect ourselves, and then amongst one another. And so why would anybody else, and why do y'all keep on pushing for the respect of somebody that just really don't give a damn about you and just disregard you? Like, it's one thing to want it, but it's another thing to like be so damn salty and bitter that you're not getting that from them. Like, move on, move forward. You cannot make them people. And especially people that already feel like they're superior, let them feel like that on their own and go on. And that's the thing. If we came a long way from slavery and stuff like that, then why not keep on progressing? Focus more on how to build up instead of worrying about. I'm not saying that apology isn't old and other things and reparations, but instead of putting your energy and efforts in that. But that's just me because I'm not actively working towards that I feel, and I don't feel like God has even gave me a reason or like a revelation or understanding as to why I would need to be doing that. Like I said, I'm not saying it ain't necessary. I'm just saying I don't fully understand like why are y'all pushing for that? And I'm telling you, my so-called grandma was still alive. She was always calling white people honkies and stuff like that. If they in the road, if they, it wasn't just them. She would call people. Oh Lord, I'd be having a hearty laugh off her because she's something. Uh, she would call people, "Go ahead, Grandma. Go ahead, Grandpa. And she was an elder herself. She always liked to claim senior citizen at every restaurant she go to. So I just be sitting me looking at her sideways like, girl, do you not understand what you're doing? I mean, and me, I feel like I wouldn't hate her if she was a stranger to me, but just felt like, oh Lord, I gotta love her because, she's my grandma. She took care of me. She, what I'm saying, as far as what I could tell and feel. But honey, if she wasn't, I'd be looking at her like, oh no, what is wrong with her? But but it was so funny. But she called white people honkies all the time, and so you'll wonder why I didn't pick that. I heard it a whole lot, but I didn't pick that up and start calling white people honkies and all of that. And she'll say you're redneck and this, that, all that stuff. And she wouldn't say it to their face, but she was definitely saying it. And I'm like, oh, God help us. And so, I don't know what all traumatized her. I know she was there in the 60s, the 50s. Well, she was young in the 50s, but definitely the 60s and stuff when she was growing up and knew that stuff that happened. So, I can't take away from them what they went through and experienced and how white people was. And like the pastor said today, he was like, things did happen back then. Things happened in the day, but they happened back then as well. And, it did seem like it's worse if it was hangings and lynchings and, all of that just brutality going on. It really does. That's physically worse. But I don't know what the spiritual atmosphere and mindset was back then. Of course, not if, but God is real and God has always existed. He was there during them times, though. So, I don't know. He seen what went on. Whoever may have ears to hear, they need to just still, even stuff of old, just submit that to God and let God continue to wipe the stains clean and just clean it up. I know it's easier said than done. And even with myself, what I be going through and dealing with regarding them, like, it's easier said to me. Sometimes it's easier said than done. It's easier for me to go ahead and bust all y'all damn windows out y'all house, not y'all damn vehicle. It's easier for me to take something and knock you upside your damn head. I be trying to refrain from feeling like I want to kill somebody, but at this point in time, I be feeling like if I'm gonna self-defend, you need to die because you don't need to be able to come back, and you live too close for comfort not to just drop dead from whatever impact you brought on yourself. Because, like, for real, I'm not gonna keep on dealing with that. I don't want to keep putting up with that, and I definitely don't take lightly to it. So anyway, one thing I know is that they do play off of one another to try to come for me or whatever the case may be. And like I said, I do feel like it's still regarding my both my kids' dads, to be honest, and because I know the so-called male of that house, he referenced my boys' dad before. Oh, you can do better. It was his unsolicited opinion. Okay, and I probably can, but I'm not sitting here asking you or bringing my issues or anything to y'all. I didn't sit around and go and say, oh, y'all know he did this, that. I didn't. I dealt with that over here. And no, I wasn't suffering in silence because I was talking to other peer groups. But I didn't go and tell them my business. Now, they might have witnessed some stuff, but I ain't go and tell them shit. The one time I did say, and I didn't even go and tell them what I told her what went on between me and my daughter's dad this one particular time. And I asked him, can I spend the night? It was peaceful. I was peaceful or whatever. I just wanted to stay somewhere where, just in case he decided to double back or circle back, that was that. But other than that, I didn't bring shit to their house. I tell them, and he tell him where I was, and then he ran out of here anyway. So damn quick. Ran out so fast that he left his shoes and stuff like that. He left one shoe behind. It was just craziness. It was trying to turn into craziness, should I say. And I was just like, I don't know where he getting this from and picking this stuff up from. Because he wasn't like this before, and I didn't want to. I'm not going to do this with you, baby. Not at all, not by far. Take your ass on. Carry your ass on. Because I don't want that in my life. I didn't really get the chance to tell him, oh, no, I'm not for the drama. I'm not for the shenanigans. I told my boys' dad that. But I told him, yeah, I'm not partaking in that. I'm not. You're not finna get me in that. I don't know what y'all used to, but I'd be danged if I ain't look up and feel like I was part of some of that. So, yeah. But anyway, that dream was interesting, but not in a good way. It just, again, and I'm trying to just, I think this is another one of those warning dreams of, well, I don't want to say warning dream, but just something I need to take heed to, that be careful not to engage in this because you don't want this type of problem, so that's how I'm feeling. And that's what I want to actually apply in my life. I don't want the mess. I just want to refrain. And as much as, it may hurt whatever little pride I do have, because I feel like I'm a mother, I got kids, and I got to protect them and this, that, and the third. Sometimes the best way to protect them is to just stay silent and just, it's almost like you're being passive and you're just letting something happen. But you know what? It's like, I feel like at times I don't have a choice but to just let these people just kind of cut the damn fool and do what they want to do. What they feel is necessary or whatever. What's not going I just knew I was finna win me some extra points and didn't. But yeah, what's gonna make them feel better and stroke their ego? But that's why I feel like I'm not here to stroke y'all damn ego. I'm trying to live and enjoy my life. And like, I feel like they literally ain't losing not a bit of sleep. And I'm over here, I'm not really losing no sleep. But when I get upset in them moments, I just be feeling like, you trying to steal something more than some sleep. You trying to steal my whole, you know what I'm saying? You trying to steal my whole existence, absolutely. But you trying to steal the peace I have and this, that, and the third. And I'm trying to continue to maintain that. So, but, that's that, because it's been almost 40 minutes. I've been talking about this one dream, but that's really how it be. I got to break that stuff down. Trying to make sure I didn't miss no details in the dream that I can still recall anyway, because, like I say, I barely could even recall some of the stuff that, or some of the people and appearances and stuff that happened in the dream. But to God be all the glory that I will refuse to participate in drama, and I will just keep my peace. I will rather hold on to peace and not actively engage with these, what I consider, old fools. And I wanted to lead by example and show people how it's really done and stuff like that, as far as, this is how we should be living. But I be feeling like they don't, like, do y'all not want to know the truth of the matter? Do y'all just want to stay stuck living a basic type of life? Like, and for the longest, it starts to make me feel basic, and I'm like, I'm not a basic type of person. I don't mind getting back to the basics, but I'm not a basic type of person. Like, there's more out here. I'm not saying I'm the most, what you call it, the most intriguing. I was looking at stuff regarding different classes of people in the 60s and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not the highest or whatever, but I'm definitely, like, you can live somewhere and feel like you're basic and all that, but you're not that. And on the inside of you, I'm not built for that. I'm built for something else. I'm supposed to be doing something else, but like I said, these folks, man. Okay, I'm gone.